When Rockstar Games was founded in 1998, they didn't have any hit franchises to their name. But Rockstar's founders Sam and Dan Houser had worked with DMA Design on their Grand Theft Auto games. The Housers sensed that the franchise was a revolution in the making, if only they could get the right elements together. They hit the mark dead on with their 2001 sequel, Grand Theft Auto 3, one of the best-selling and most influential games of all time. Rockstar expanded exponentially, buying up both studios around the world and hit IPs like Max Payne. But no matter what they did, they always came back to their standard bearer, GTA. As 2004 rolled around the corner, it would bring with it everything that made Rockstar what it was: creative experiments, a monster success, and a controversy so large its repercussions can still be felt to this day. As if the gaming world couldn't contain them anymore, 2004 saw the release of Rockstar's first movie. Back in 1999, they'd made a short film to help promote Grand Theft Auto 2, but now they were going for the big screen. The Football Factory was a British film about English hooligans, executive produced by Rockstar Games. Not surprisingly, a hardcore football club movie didn't gain much traction outside of England itself. Nonetheless, as a glorification of the hyper-violent counterculture, it was a perfect fit for the gaming bad boys. But at the end of the day, they were still a game publisher, and they had plenty to do. In May 2004, they released the first game of a brand new franchise, one of the few set in the Wild West, Red Dead Revolver. The title was originally developed by Angel Studios for Japanese publisher Capcom. But after a few delays and production woes, Capcom gave up on the title, assuming it would never be finished. However, Rockstar knew the company had talent since they'd worked together on Midnight Club and Smuggler's Run. And so they bought the studio, rebranding it Rockstar San Diego. But when Rockstar acquired them, their Western game was a mess. While all the various parts of the game, including duels and a bullet time mechanic, were good ideas, its polish wasn't up to the level they needed to be. More importantly, they didn't cohere into one seamless experience, which had always been Rockstar's greatest strength. When it did finally hit shelves, it was praised for perfectly recalling spaghetti westerns of old, but was faulted for having a flawed execution. Appropriately enough, the game was something of an imperfect anti-hero. But Rockstar's primary focus for the year wouldn't be the Wild West, but the West Coast. In October 2004, they released their biggest, boldest, and baddest game yet, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
I'm taking you all down, bitches! I want you to pay him a little visit, Carl, and destroy all his evidence before he testifies.
Sort this out, Carl, so Officer Tenpenny can sleep easy at night.
Though San Andreas had appeared in the very first GTA as a stand-in for San Francisco, in this title it would be expanded into an entire state that had 3 cities within it, parodies of Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Las Vegas. Like Vice City before it, San Andreas would feature a top-tier cast, including the BAMF himself, Samuel L. Jackson.
Intimidate those who intimidate others, Carl. It's my job.
It included even more weapons and vehicles than before, and even had a physical fitness system. If you didn't eat right and exercise, your character would get fat and ugly. A little lesson for the audience amidst all the chaos. But the biggest change was the game's sheer bigness. An entire state, 3 whole cities, and all the endless deserts in between made for one of the largest game worlds ever made. Grand Theft Auto was larger than life. The game would also generate Rockstar's second film, a documentary about the lowrider culture of Southern California called Sunday Driver. The film was included with the special edition of San Andreas. Reviews were glowing and the hype was rabid. Sales went through the stratosphere. San Andreas went on to be the highest-selling game in the history of both the United States and Europe. Rockstar was untouchable. What could possibly go wrong? Sony had paid Rockstar's owners Take-Two to make the GTA franchise exclusive to the PlayStation 2 for a limited time. So, 9 months after San Andreas released on the PS2, it came to the PC and Xbox. The PC version, like its predecessors, allowed for modding from the community. Only 2 days after the PC version's release in America, and a day before its release in Europe, a Dutch modder named Patrick Wildenberg released a patch for the PC game. This patch literally changed only 1 bit of the game's main file. But by doing so, Wildenberg made a hidden section of the game's code available, a fully interactive sex minigame that he called Hot Coffee. For their own reasons, Rockstar had decided not to allow the sex game to players. However, by the time this decision was made, the game was next to done. Untangling the minigame's code from the rest of the project would have taken both time and resources they couldn't waste. So instead, they had opted to keep the code and just make it inaccessible. They'd never considered that modders might find it. Within days, the Hot Coffee mod had become a media firestorm. The extreme brutal violence of Manhunt was fine, but the idea that a game had sex was absolutely unacceptable. The ESRB re-rated the game from mature to adults only. Since major retailers refuse to carry an adults-only game, and Microsoft and Sony won't allow one on their consoles, Rockstar was forced to recall the game at a cost of $25 million. And if that wasn't enough, the US government decided they needed to save America's children from the publisher. Hillary Clinton declared it was, quote, stealing the innocence of our children. In 2005, she joined Senators Joe Lieberman and Evan Bayh to introduce the Family Entertainment Protection Act, which would federally enforce the ESRB rating system. The bill never went to a vote. On top of all of this, class action lawsuits were brought against Take-Two by angry parents incensed that the publisher had hidden porn in their children's games. Never mind the fact that no one under the age of 17 should be playing the M-rated game, and never mind that the content was supposed to be inaccessible. It was the publisher's fault for including sex. After years of legal back and forth, the case was finally settled in 2009. Rockstar traditionally reveled in their bad boy status, but this was too much even for them. They have refused to ever discuss Hot Coffee again, and while their games are still as violent as ever, there's no sex to be found. Some claim that the scandal would be the end of Rockstar as they knew it, that the controversy would drive consumers away from their products. But they forgot that controversy was Rockstar's killer app. Tune in next time to see how Rockstar took a break from Grand Theft Auto to explore whole new genres.